So basically, you're going to have this screen on there before it starts so people kind of get an idea. We might even put a couple well, there is a website on there. That's good. Okay, there'll be a banner also that has this. The way the room's set up is going to be a couple large posters of who the battleground people are at each of these meetings. You go ahead and mute if you want there, Tyler. I am getting background noise a little bit if you want. But there are some, like I say, there are there's going to be some big posters that show you, so people can see clearly what is their, what are the battleground, who are the main candidates. So that would be up there, and then the banner. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Hopefully, this will click. There we go. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. I'd like to ask now if you could raise your hand if you have never worked on a political campaign before. Great. Well, that's why we're here today. Although most of us have never volunteered before, without us all stepping up, we leave our lives governed by those who do not represent us or our interests. Our daily lives are affected, no matter our party affiliation, be it declined state, independent, Republican, or even Democrat. We can all agree that the supermajority bureaucrats running our states do not represent the constituents, we, the voters, and their evolution into socialism is not the Democrat Party of JFK. The Take Back California PAC seeks volunteers who understand that with high volunteer turnout, we can win. We understand our opposition is organized, and they are plotting against us. And we understand the need and importance for all of us to form a ground game and take back California. So exactly what is a ground game is one of our agenda items we're going to discuss today. What is canvassing? What are phone banks, the voter registration drives, flash rallies? What do we do at fairs and events? How can we keep our county organized? For example, we can run for the Central Committee. We call the Central Committee. We can build a local team to take back California PAC. We can also help with local campaigns. Finally, at the end of all this overview of what a campaign is, we're going to break out into table groups. And we will have a group agenda that we will be following at that point in time. And we do want to report back when we're all done at the end of this day. We're going to report back as a whole group and announce what specifically our group is doing. So a ground game is the political organization in each campaign, be it in a local school, water, fire board race, city council, county supervisor, state assembly, Senate, state elections such as governor, the national races in our local areas such as the congressional races. These all have ground games. So the national, state, and all the way down to the congressional district and precinct level is all part of it. Sometimes it's called getting the boots in the ground as well. The next ground game is getting your target voters to the polls to vote for your candidate. For those listening to this recording right now, I'm going to be clicking now on the video. Tyler, can you hear this video? Tyler, you can unmute. Can you hear
Yes, I can.
You can. Good. Thank you. It's a 4-minute video. Okay, so you can see the notes again what that battleground was right here, and you can learn more about our this video goes much longer, and there's many other training videos that we have on our TakeBackCaliforniaVolunteer.com, TakeBackCaVolunteer.com page. The presenter would not have a mouse to move around, but they would have a red laser that you can go on the screen and point. So, canvassing. What is canvassing? Canvassing is the direct contact with individuals. Canvassing operations are performed for many reasons: political campaigning, grassroots fundraising, community awareness, membership drives, and more. But for our purpose, it's going to be the political campaigning. Campaigners will knock on doors to engage in personalized contact with an individual. It is used by political parties and issue groups to identify supporters, to persuade the undecided, to add voters to the voter list through voter registration, for example, and it is central to get out the vote operations. It is the core element of what a political campaign calls the ground game or the field. So canvassers are given lists known as the canvas sheets, precinct list sheets, okay, or they may even have an app on their phone. These are a list of households to be contacted, generated from a voter database. Some campaigns today have replaced these paper sheets again with a tablet or a smartphone app. The canvasser will attempt to reach out to reach each of the households on their list and deliver a script containing questions and persuasive messaging provided by the campaign. Almost all election canvassing includes asking how a person plans to vote. Supporters may then be asked themselves to volunteer or to take a lawn sign, if you have one to offer to them. Those who are wavering or undecided may be given a message of persuasion. So if foot canvassing, the canvasser may also just distribute flyers, and the people call that a flyer drop. And that's meant to just do that. But it's better to be able to do the surveys and knock on doors. So upon completing the canvass, the results will be entered into a voter database. It's like a survey. This will update the campaign's list of voters, removing those who have moved or have deceased, and adding new residents who may have been found. The data on the questions will be used for further contact. A supporter may be added to a list for get out the vote or fundraising, while a hostile voter might be dropped from the future contact. You can see with the state GOP, it's a massive effort of the ground game. This is a national GOP effort. Over 7,600 paid staff and trained organizers. Over 24 million doors are knocked. Over 26 million phone calls. We had over 13 million in California. And over 50 million targeted GOV emails are sent out constantly. So it's quite an effort to know who our voters are. This doesn't click, so when you're presenting, you have a clicker that works really easy. So a little bit more about precinct operations. The California Republican Party voter turnout, and what is a Republican neighborhood precinct organization? So again, when you're doing this, you have a clicker that clicks it automatically from a distance. The power of personal visits.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a personal contact in an impersonal world. It cuts through all the junk mail, the nuisance phone calls and spam. So personal contact, it directly connects the voter to the political process. So when you're in person, it's the oldest and the most natural form of communication. It demonstrates effort and establishes credibility for the Republican Party and its candidates. So it's proven to be the best way to get voter turnout is by that personal connection. That can include voter registration drives, street corner flash mobs, local rallies, booths at fairs and events, and personal contact through the phone. Just so you know, anyone who's listening to this video, you do have sound over here in case you want to click on it and be trained a little more what's being said there, but it's not always matched up perfectly. It's an older sound, but during the presentation, we won't be clicking that. It's any sound and does play automatically. So how is this organized, this personal contact? Well, you have a state precinct operation chair. Okay, precinct is a key word here. They lead the precinct organization in each county. They develop, what you're going to be passing out. They manage county database of district leaders, the community leaders, and precinct reps. So they have access to the database of everybody, of all the leaders. They provide district leaders and community leaders with maps, precinct rep lists, walk lists, door hangers, everything you need, including the app if you're using a phone app. This can be any political campaign or central committee level group. So you could be working with your Republican Central Committee, or any campaign could be doing this. So as your state or campaign precinct chair is designated, depending on which campaign your group or individuals decide to volunteer for, it's your decision to make here who you want to work for. But we're here to help train you, give you some basic foundations, so as you walk into a campaign, you feel a little more, knowing what's going on. So the state level provides for the county captains and county precinct leaders. You might hear me clicking here. Like I say, normally I almost plug in the clicker on this. Here we go. There's a graph for us visual learners. Campaigns and local Republican Central Committees have state, county, and city leaders. So here's your state director. Then you have your various county captains. Then you have city leaders that, each county has its group of city leaders. So on the county captain level, you have, various positions. The volunteer coordinator is a pretty important job. They have access to all the volunteers. Your data manager has access to all the data as they input and share new volunteers. And your Facebook admin is important as well, because there's someone who's going to be posting events and that sort of thing. So the county captain oversees full county operations. Their duty is to delegate and be prepared to recruit new leaders. So we have campaign liaisons. They're I'm going off the top of my head here, Tyler, because there is a list I don't know, I think I sent it to you already, that mentions these jobs. So briefly, a campaign liaison is someone who connects with various campaigns and reports back. These people all report back to the Take Back California group. So within your county, you can be organized where you have all these positions. Okay, it can be a campaign is organized as well, this way as well, and even your central committees can be somewhat organized this way. But our organization, Take Back California, would have all these positions. Campaign liaison, again, is someone who connects with the local campaigns, and it comes back and tells your group, hey, we have a meeting here, an event there, do you want to join up or not? College coordinator is crucial to connect with all the college kids in case they want to go help with campaigns. Media coordinator, make sure you do the press releases. Sometimes you're going to be doing things as a group. If you have signs and materials, that person, materials manager, takes care of them. The event coordinator is someone who makes sure that if you need venues and sound equipment and whatever it is that's going on with an event, it would be a fair. Social media activists help the Facebook. They're all on social media. People who are just involved with spreading the talking points. You also have a canvassing director. It is more the door-to-door type of person who's walking door-to-door, and also to be phone bank, and that's the phone bank over here, phone bank directors. And then they have their city leaders who, basically the city leaders duplicate the entire structure as well. So a county captain ensures that the local teams have the information and skills they need to volunteer for campaigns, and they report back to the county team. Again, the Take Back California PAC, on our volunteer page, we have training. We will help you with your meetings and how to get everybody. Everybody has their own training available to them and their own network within their own group. Training is an ongoing project to ensure that Take Back PAC volunteers are skilled leaders to assist other campaigns, initiatives, and the central committees. So wherever you decide to spend your efforts, we want to make sure you have that foundation through our group. So the actual city leaders can hold local meetings or conference calls like many do, and they do everything a county captain does except at a smaller level. The precinct rep and their volunteer team are the most important person in our whole entire political system. They are the ones who personally communicate with the voters. So these volunteers are actually crucial, okay, because they're reaching out and they're talking face to face. So precinct captains and their city volunteer teams are a crucial and important part of every campaign. They need to be familiar with issues, non-confrontational, that means not argumentative, professional, respectful. They are the local face of the candidates that they represent. And it might be, you might be representing the Take Back Californians itself with all the candidates, all the whole slate. And if you're doing that, you, again, you want to be professional. So how does this all work? So deployment happens, the Republican neighborhood precinct organization is deployed on 3 key days. People can do it anytime. You know, you can start now even. But these are key days. October the 6th is when you have voter contact walk. So it's about 31 days before the election day. That's a weekend. This ensures that Republicans voting absentee receive their materials before they vote. So it's a crucial thing to make sure before absentees are due in that people, know to go ahead and vote. November 3rd is also a contact walk. That's the Saturday before the election. There's a major push for Republicans to remind them to vote on Election Day. And then finally, on Election Day, it's called poll watching. This is the afternoon of Election Day. We maximize every last Republican vote. And we're going to talk about that more in a moment, but basically there's a list on each precinct that tells you who has voted and who has not. So we want to go and reach those people who have not voted. And hopefully we have built a contact with them already. We have a rapport in our local areas of who these people are. We can remind them, hey, do you need a ride or whatever it is to get into the polls. We're going to door-to-door. October 6th and November 3rd, again, were the minimum contacts we want to have. You could be working with your central committee or any campaign. These are voter contact walks. That means you're actually going door to door in Republican households, or it could be declined estates, independents. Your purpose is to contact these Republican voters personally and encourage them to vote on Election Day, to drop off a door hanger even. And your goal is to personally visit as many Republican voters as possible. Distribute a door-to-door hanger to each Republican household. Again, we could also, depend on the outreach, could be independents, declined estates. So there's also a postcard or email will be sent usually by the campaign to where to go pick your materials on that Saturday for the election. So at 9 o'clock, you go pick up your materials and your campaign literature. And after 9, you personally visit each Republican household in the precinct. So on Election Day poll watching, as I talked about earlier, is to check with which Republicans have voted that day. You contact those who have not. And actually, it's kind of weird. There is a list we have, but you also, it's what they post on the actual precincts, every election polling place, they post who has not voted, and it's open to the public. Anybody can go up there and even use their phone and take a picture. It even has the phone number and everything, so you can go, and it tells you the party. But anyway, you want to urge them to vote, but we have our own list as well. You want to personally persuade the maximum number of people to go out and vote. Okay, that's the whole point of poll watching. You want to increase Republican turnout by personally contacting them who have not voted yet that day. Again, the polling places are required by law to post and regularly update the list of those who have voted throughout the day. Sometime after about 2 o'clock, you can go to your precinct's polling place, and you can bring your own list of known Republican voters you picked up on that Saturday before the election. You can have a precinct list, or again, you can have an app. And you cross out the names of those who voted off your list. You can contact the rest by phone or in person. You get as many Republicans to the polls as you can. Now, what I've done, take a picture. You can take a picture of it as well and just go right off that list that way. It's pretty easy to do it that way with our new phones. So to review, our goals: you want to personally speak with Republican voters. You want to drop off literature listing who the endorsed Republican candidates are in your area. A key point and tip is make sure you understand you're visiting Republican-friendly households. The goal is to make sure they know who the Republican candidates are and make sure they do turn out. We have low turnouts. So this year, personal, face-to-face reminder does a huge, big difference. Most people you visit will agree with you and will be thankful you came by. We know this from experience. You're not going to reach every voter. You want to make sure you dress appropriately. You don't want to have to wear a suit. You don't want to wear bathing suits or whatever. Dress correctly. Dress one step above those who you can expect to meet. Never enter a person's home, obviously. Take a step back when they come to the door. Refer to their door hanger that you're passing out. And if interested, you can encourage them to volunteer or if put up a yard sign if you have one. Some typical scripts you may say is, hi, I'm John Smith. I live down the street, and I'm the Republican Party's representative in the neighborhood. Just wanted to stop by and leave you with this list of the Republican Party's officially endorsed candidates for the election. Going to be close, so make sure you remember to vote. I also want to check if you had any questions as to why you should vote for blank. So maybe you're there representing a candidate or two. You can put that in. We said that's why a lot of the phone apps, there could be a survey, a question that you may ask. So you always want to smile, be friendly. Nobody likes a grumpy person coming to the door. You don't want to put literature in the mailboxes. That's not legal. You don't want to argue with anyone. You don't want to skip you do want to skip houses with dogs. Don't cut across lawns. Be respectful. And you want to return your completed voter registration cards to your community leader. I'm going to talk about that in a moment, how you should be carrying voter registration cards with you. There's a way to tell if people are registered or not. There could be voters who haven't voted in a while. So an option is to remember that some in your group may want to work with a specific campaign or initiative or the party and its down candidates. You may work for the Republican Party and all of its down candidates. That's just your call on the individual basis, really. So okay, so it's probably good to play that recording. That's why I went ahead and did save that recording because it's a lot to cover there on that sheet. So the presenter would probably want to go ahead and show this. It automatically will play. What are phone banks? They can be done at home, at the central committee headquarters, or any campaign office. Okay, so that's where a group can be get together to make phone calls, or you at home can be making phone calls. And there's a script, and it's automatic, and there's apps that we set up for that. Okay, a lot of people like to just do that. and it doesn't click as easy as shit on here. There we go. So that is the end of our precinct walk review. You can see it's boots on the ground. It's an important part of what is the campaign, what's important about the campaign. It's very crucial. There's other operations for the Take Back County and City groups. By the way, if we have another presenter, it would be a good time maybe to switch off. Somebody else could be talking about the other operations. We have flash rallies. We're going to talk about it quickly about fairs and events and keeping your county organized and working with local campaigns. So to begin, you want to have voter registration drives if you can. It's a chance to get local volunteers. You're not just having them sign up to register to vote, but they might want to sign up as a volunteer. She could be on that table. So it alerts the public to the deadline to register, which is October 22nd. If you have a table, it's a good opportunity to do a press release about your registration drive. So that alerts the public of the deadline, and the news media will run that press release. That's why you have a media manager who helps with those kind of things. It also helps increase voter turnout because if you provide literature on campaigns, they get more informed, and it shows a local presence when people are out there with their voter registration. There's an example of a voter registration card. I'm not going to get into it too much right now, but it is important to understand that you usually want to fold these cards in half, and you want to probably start at number 9, date of birth. If you go to the top, it gets to be too much, and it's too much. And usually you want to kind of figure out, after you just a couple of times, you hit the key spots to yellow. All right, and then they have to sign it. Okay, so you get these free at the county register of voters, and you are responsible to turn them in. They ask your name and how many you want. And, if you don't obviously fill them out, you don't have to turn them in. But if they're filled out, you have to turn them in, and you're signing your name, an affidavit that you will do so and be responsible for that. People can also register online. Another really popular thing is the street corner flash rallies and even overpass rallies. You can see a couple pictures of both. A flash rally for your candidate or party it gives you free exposure of the popularity of your candidate or the issue you support. You could be focusing on the issue like the gas tax or whatever it is. You want to it allows you potentially to be on the local county media. So you want to promote these events as like on Facebook, such the Californians for Trump has each county, they have a Facebook page. It can be an event you post. So everybody reaches out and knows about your flash rallies. They can show up. You want to email even your event time and location to your fellow Take Back California team. So this the communication of this event is happening. And you want to take pictures and videos of the event. You may even want to submit them to the press, to the media, see they'll cover a story on it. So we also have local rallies. Could be at a booth at a fair, even your own rally. People do their own rallies too. They also maybe have booths and fairs at gun shows, religious events, farmers markets, everywhere. So let us know if you're planning on a rally so we can assist with speakers and other logistics and promotions. Booths at fairs and flea markets could be a way to outreach and promote your party and your candidate, or even Take Back California PAC could be what you're promoting there. Merchandise for these events can be obtained at your local campaign office, and fair fees may also be provided by your campaign or the GOP you are there to promote, or the volunteer, or just a volunteer to work to sign up there. But so it depends who you're doing this for, who you're going to be, what the booth is for. Be sure and coordinate your event and post it on your county events tab on Facebook and on the main page on your events at Californians for Trump. And we also have some Take Back California pages as well. And this is supposed to play. Short. So that was an example of Ernie White and one of our early rallies for the Californians for Trump. But that's what you can do. You can have these kind of rallies on your own, various communities for any candidates for this a red wave. You know, it doesn't matter what the subject is. This is whatever you are passionate about. Oh, so there we go. So another option is to how you have a community or organization. You can join the local Republican Central Committee. Every 4 years during the presidential election, Republican voters vote for representatives to serve on their local county central committee. You can run for office. It's, kept within your district, your neighborhood. The main purpose of these committees is to register more voters, facilitate get-out-the-vote operations for candidates, and raise necessary funds to finance the previous two. They elect an executive board that consists of a chairman, several vice chairmen maybe in your area, a treasurer, an assistant treasurer, a secretary, parliamentarian, sergeant of arms. It depends on the size of your county. Every representative on the committee selects one alternate, who can vote on their behalf when they are absent. So you have the actual committee member and you have an alternate. Committee members meet once a month to conduct the business of their party. The political process can seem enduring and sometimes overwhelming, but rest assured, knowing that there are good people willing to serve a cause that they feel greater than their own. These positions receive no pay, no benefits or perks, and are strictly on a volunteer basis. Each and every central committee candidate should be applauded for their desire to make a difference. So getting involved as a volunteer and attending the monthly meetings is a great way to get to know your central committee. Take Back California will be there as your organization, as your home base, to assist you along the way. So Take Back California also has formed a county or organization, as mentioned in today's workshop. We have county captains, data managers, all those different groups that I was mentioned before. We are not going to rely only on our local Republican groups to turn the red wave. We're going to assist in that effort as well. We need to make sure it's getting done within our own group as well. So we do meet monthly. We do trainings and reports from campaigns are given back to us and fellow other groups and events and activities that we all may want to engage in on an individual basis. We hold our own events. We can hold our own events. We do our own get-out-the-vote efforts, and we advocate for those issues that's important to our group. And we decide that amongst each county group decides what are those issues important to them. So we hope you can join us by going to the website to join Travis Allen or the volunteer page at Take Back California Volunteers. Now we're moving into, you can see there's some posters in this room, and these big posters show about what are the targeted battleground campaigns. What local campaigns need leaders, okay? And so you can see in the Congress, CD3, we have the candidate Charlie. So this yellow, by the way, means that these are Democrat districts that we want to take. And this is pretty large. I can barely see it over here. Okay, so the blue means Democrat over here. It means by 12.6 points, the last election is all they won by. Hillary won by only 12.6 points. Can we take it? Can we take this county, this district? If you are in these counties, you may want to get involved in this campaign. That is your choice. Same thing with Tom McClintock. He's a Republican. He won by nearly 15 points. Trump won by, it's a pretty strong Republican area. Trump won by 15 points, I should say. And this is his number. This is how to get a hold of his campaign. And these are the areas that he represents, the counties he represents. And again, this next one here is Andrew Grant is the Republican running in this District 7, and that includes Elk Grove, Folsom, and Rancho Cordova. The Democrat won, Ibarra, I think his name was, he only won by 11 points. I'm going to say Hillary only won by 11 points. Sorry, these are the voting of Republican Democrat. It's based on the presidential election. 11 points it means that it's a margin that the Democrats could lose. The same thing with this one with Tom McClintock. He is a battleground. We could lose if we don't get out the vote and protect the seat. We know that in midterm elections we're vulnerable. the Republican Party, because the executive branch is Republican, so historically you can lose seats. And that's the plan. They're hoping to do an impeachment, right, of Trump and that sort of thing. So it's important. Stanislaus, if you're in that area, and people here from Stanislaus, Modesto, they can see that Denham actually is a Republican, but he actually, in that district, they actually voted for Hillary by 3. So it's a -3 he has. So even though he was able to win, the district is primarily went with Hillary. So that's a red flag. So that's a battleground. We do the same thing here as we go down to the state Senate. We can see that Jim Nelson in all these different areas. You can see them on the posters are up. I'm going to be flipping the screen pretty soon, but you can see same thing. He only won by 8. His district, only this area that he covers, voted for Trump within 8 points. So it's a battleground. We want to protect our Senate districts and semi-districts. We do not want them to have a supermajority. So, and we also have this district in Senate District 8. This used to be held by Tom Berryhill. Amador County, Fresno, Mariposa, Stanislaus. There's a little bit of Sacramento, but not much. Rancho Cordova. Can't say it. So you can have a few of those. And that district, again, is by 10. That's just how you read these charts that we have hanging around the room. Let's see, this is clicking. Always takes an effort to click for some reason. There we go. Now for, say, assembly races, you can see AD 1, 3, 5, 6. These are all battleground. This yellow, again, means this is, as you can see by the red, Democrat. But it's within 10. So we could take that. The rest we need to protect. Most of them are pretty solid, but the San Joaquin Rip and Heath Flora, he could need some help. His district only went by 8 points. So here's about 15 points is what you're looking at. And these are the candidates who are running. They need your help. Many of them are here today, and you can go and see their tables or their chair and sign up. And let's see here. We can click to the next slide. So it's now time to do the breakout. This is the agenda that we have here, and we're gonna have you. You're already in your table group. We had our chaperones seat you by those various races we just discussed. There's little tags on each table that says what is their Senate and Assembly districts. So you want to make sure you're in the right table group. You see there are no tablets and pins on the table. We're going to start off with these various. I'm going to keep this screen up here the whole time. First thing you're going to do is you can talk to each other, and you want to select who's your key contact in your group. Who's your city leader in that area? It could be a city leader or it could be this district leader. Next, you want to exchange the city or district leader's phone and email. You want to do make sure you also pass around a sign-up sheet for everyone there in your group. Okay. Then you want to go ahead and discuss 2 immediate action items that you are interested in as a group. What do you want to do? You want to work on a specific campaign? The gas tax? Are you going to do a flash rally? Are you going to meet the central committee? Are you going to do an overpass, etc.? So what is exactly you want to do? Specific action item. And next, you're going to be talking about where your group could actually meet as a Take Back California group. You want to pick a time and place of your next meeting. Remember, freeconferencecall.com works. You can use that and do a conference call system. But, your first meeting besides today here, but meeting other people, we have a whole database of people. And meeting in a public place, whatever, where you can all get together is kind of important, at least the first time. Finally, you will discuss what will be reported back to us, the whole entire group. Someone in your group is going to need to report back. So if you have time, exchange everyone's phone number and emails on an individual basis. Otherwise, the sheet you pass around would get you copies of that. So you want to report back to the whole group, okay? And the last thing you're going to do is you're going to announce your group plans. So I'm going to leave this up there, and during this whole entire breakout, now let's say everyone's done all that agenda, we can go to the next That's probably about 20 minutes have passed. And I don't know why this thing doesn't just click. There we go. And now we're going to do our actual group action. What are we going to be doing locally? So each table group will report back, and someone will speak up and say, we're going to meet in so-and-so place, so-and-so time. And here's our action. I might want to put that on here, place, time, action. So we want to make sure they have clear action. And that's it. Okay, are you still with me? That was long. How long was that? I'm going to go ahead and pause this now.